Okay, so one of the last things we're going to talk about as far as angles go are complementary and supplementary angles. Complementary angles are angles that add to 90 degrees. So, although the picture on the left does not show any of those 90 degree boxes, we do know that two perpendicular lines are they intersect at a 90 degree angle. So let me go ahead and let me throw a few boxes on here. This would be a 90, a 90, a 90, and a 90. Okay. So now that we have those labeled, let's look at the information as it is given to us. Because in most cases on these problems, it's not just going to say, hey, these two are complementary. Okay, you're going to have to be able to identify the angles given and ask yourself if they are complementary. So in this particular case, it says to find x if the measurement of angle GHC is 4x. So let's first find where GHC is. Start at G, go through H, and finish at C. So that would be the yellow angle there. And the measurement of angle DHG is 6x plus 10. So start at D, go through H, and finish at G. And now we see that we have two angles that together, when I add them up, would make this 90 degree. Let me get rid of these, a couple of these other boxes around here. Okay? When you add those two angles together, you get the full thing. And that is a 90 degree angle. So these two angles that are given to us are complementary. So what I'm going to do with them, I'm going to take my first angle, which was GHC. I'm going to add it to my second angle that gave me, which was DHG. And together they equal 90 degrees. One of the big mistakes I see on these is people look at those two angles and they go, oh, those look like they're the same. So they just set them equal to each other. Well, we can't do that because they aren't the same. They may look the same, but they're not. You know, one of them could be 49 degrees and the other one could be 51. You can't trust the picture. You have to go on the information that's given. So now that we have this equation set up, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to combine these two like terms because they're on the same side of the equal sign. 4x's plus 6x's is going to be 10x's plus 10 equals 90. I'm going to just go ahead and finish this two-step equation. Subtract 10. So I get 10x equals 80. Divide both sides by 10. And it turns out that x is equal to 8. Remember, they may ask you to plug back in to find a couple other things. You know, let's say they wanted to know what the actual measure of GHC is. Well, I would just take the 8x, or the 8, put it right there, substitute it. 4 times 8 is 32. So this is actually a 32 degree angle in here. And if I took that 8 and I dropped it back in for DHG, 8 times 6 is 48. 48 plus 10 is 48 plus 10 is 58. And now if you add those two together, we do get that 90 degrees. 32 plus 58, that is 90 degrees. So it does check out, it does work. What about supplementary? Well, supplementary angles are angles that add to 180 degrees. Now once again, it's on you to label the picture and see that these are supplementary. They aren't going to tell you that they're supplementary. So we have a couple different angles here. We have angle CHB, start at C, go through H, and finish at B. That's this angle right here. And then we have angle BHE. So start at B, go through H, finish at E. Okay? So now you notice that these two angles, when you put them together, make a straight line. And a straight line has 180 degrees in it. So these two angles are supplementary. They add to 180. In the first example, they added to 90. So I'm going to do the same thing I did up at the top. I'm going to take 4y, and I'm going to add it to, hold on one second here. Okay, sorry about that. It just occurred to me that I didn't change these numbers. I wanted to change the numbers, but I didn't. But we'll see if it works out anyway. It's just our y value is going to be different than our x value was. So we're going to take angle CHB, we're going to add it to angle BHE, and this time we're going to set it equal to 180 degrees because these are supplementary. So it's going to be sort of the same steps here. I'm going to have 10y plus 10 equals 180. Subtract 10 from both sides. I really should have changed these numbers, but that's okay. They're two different problems, so you just work out a little differently. So we have 10y equaling 170. I'm going to divide each side by 10, and y comes out to be 17. Okay, well let's check and let's see if this is going to work now. If I take this 17 and I plug it back in, let's say right here, that should give me the size of angle CHB. Okay, so 4 times 17, well 2 times 17 is 34, 34 times 2 is 68. So this is a 68 degree angle here. What if I take 17 and I plug it back into BHE? That's going to leave me with 6 times 17 plus 10. Okay, well 6 times 17, 38 plus another 102, which would leave me with 112 for that angle. So this thing is 112, and when you add those together, you do get that 180 degrees that you need for the straight line.